following video is one in a series on spiritual resilience training, a non-religious view of personal values and their dynamics with others. The contents reflect a variety of principles and practices of systems theory and relational counseling for team building and family resilience. Although the series is intended to support Army Corps values, each video also encourages the viewer to reflect on their current prominent values in specific situations and to consider what values may be more appropriate to means and results that are honorable and helpful with others. Chaplain Dillard initiates creating and posting these videos. Their contents and YouTube's linked videos do not necessarily reflect specific beliefs, practices, requirements, or endorsements of the Department of Defense, its subordinate organizations, or other groups with which Chaplain Dillard is affiliated.
Welcome back. In a couple of earlier videos, we looked at how group values are formed. In one video, we took kind of a telescopic view about how entire generations' values can be formed. In another video, we looked at a microscopic view particular to families and how group values are formed there. In this video, I'd like you to consider how to strengthen group values, especially when a member of the group is having difficulty in that particular value. And again, we're going to use the physical body as a metaphor to help us think through that. Now, here's some background on me to help us think through this metaphor. A few years ago, about 10 years ago, I had back surgery for a herniated disc and a pinched nerve between L4 and L5. And the nerve in my back was pinched for so long, the doctor said it was like a garden hose. It was crimped. And he says if you crimp a garden hose long enough, the crimp never fully comes out. So I've lost feeling in a good bit of my left lower leg around the shin and the ankle. And that's changed the way that I have to run to compensate for that. And 2 years ago I had two major surgeries on my abdominal area for some aneurysms and a very large hernia because of the incision that didn't heal later. That has changed the way that I train to run. So taking some of those into consideration, here's the 5 steps of how to strengthen group values. 1, identify the ideal. What needs to happen? In my case, that ideal is the performance of passing my 2-mile run, or if I do a 2.5-mile walk, passing that in time. Let's say for your group, that ideal might be punctuality, showing up to a family event on time, turning in a report on time, meeting other deadlines on time, and one of your group struggles with punctuality. Let's just use that as an example. So you've identified the ideal, punctuality. That's one of many. Second thing you've got to do is to strengthen the struggler. Who is struggling with punctuality, and strengthen them? I've had to exercise my lower leg, my shin area, extra strong, extra long, both. I've had to give extra attention to that part of my whole body or my group of members. I haven't punished it, I haven't cut it off, I haven't neglected it, although those are the things that we tend to do in our groups, when in fact we need to do the very opposite. We need to give care, extra attention, extra time to strengthen that struggler. So that's the second thing. Identify the ideal, strengthen the struggler. Third thing that you've got to do is modify your means. I had to change the way that I run because of that part of my leg. Now instead of taking long strides, I have to take shorter, faster strides because I just can't run heel to toe in the same way. So I've had to change the way that I run. So you may have to modify your means for the group to be punctual. That might mean preparing earlier. That might mean clearer objectives. That might mean more encouragement to the instructor. It might mean the struggler. It might mean more help in certain areas to make the group to be punctual. But you have to modify your means, the way that the whole group is going about accomplishing the task. The fourth thing is to connect the carriers. Now what I mean by that is my hip flexors and my thighs carry that part of my leg. So as I run, I've had to strengthen my hip flexors, which is between your thigh and your abdominal area, and my thighs themselves, because they carry more of the weight. Now, I know what the temptation is, to say, I'm not carrying somebody who's not doing already well. That doesn't mean that they don't do anything. It means that you recognize that they're struggling, and because you have to adapt your means, some are going to carry a little bit more weight so the whole group can perform well. And as you do that, the struggler will get stronger. The members will connect more to each other, because those connectors that you have to, that are carrying, they're connected to the heart, physically, the heart and the lungs, which in me are stronger than my leg. So that connection is between who is strong in the group and who is struggling in the group to bring the whole group together. One cohesive group, not bitter, not disconnected, not cutting off, not blaming, but performing together. Connect the carriers. The last thing is you've got to praise progress. Anytime you see even little progress, you've got to recognize it. Say it, share it, write it down, make a big deal out of it, because when you praise progress, the whole group is more likely to repeat what they did well. So look for it. Look for people succeeding. Look for the strugglers succeeding. Look for the carriers succeeding. Look for the new means succeeding. Look for any progress that you see that's legitimate and true, and say it. Say it often. Say it to everyone. Hope that helps. See you next time.
At the release date of this video, I am stationed with Research Development and Engineering Command, RDECOM, at Aberdeen Proving Ground, Maryland. Because the majority of our personnel are in this area, I spend most of my time here. I do, however, travel to our distant units based on command priorities and budget. I place these videos on YouTube for broad visibility to Army personnel and their families, but I hope the videos will be helpful to others too. If you are assigned to RDECOM and want to request specific topics by video, training on site or by VTC, or confidential counseling on site or by secure webcam, you can contact me at jeffrey.d.dillard.mil@mail.mil.